I love my cat. So, I spent the last few months designing and modifying a toy for her. Stay tuned, find out more. This is Sugar the cat. And this is Dr. Albert, Sugar's human companion. Dr. Albert is responsible for Sugar's safety, food, and of course, playing. One day, out in the wild of New York City, Dr. Albert spotted an interesting toy on the street. The squirrel ball. I think it looks more like a weasel. After reaching home, Dr. Albert couldn't wait to open it for Sugar to play. However, Sugar doesn't seem to like the device that much. She just stands and watches the ball moves. Stupid Dr. Albert didn't even realize the toy is designed for human baby, not for cat.
Oh my god.
Refused to give up, Dr. Albert decided to modify the hell out of it. Alright, let's tear apart the toy. Cover off. Screws off. Batteries go. Weasel! So, here's how the toy works. The button applies a positive voltage across the DC motor that drives the central gear, which eventually rotates the whole block. Clever design. There are 3 goals I try to achieve for this modification. First, add random activation to the movement. You see, Sugar is like many other cats, loves random trigger movements of small objects, mimics the struggle of a prey, and this excites their natural hunting instinct. Second, human intervention. To add a little bit of fun of interactions, I decided to add a manual override to this goofy movement. Third, I need to figure out a way to change all that feature without any wire attachments. Clear? Let's move on. Here's how I break down the required blocks for the circuit board.
Hey, how's it going, boy?
To satisfy the ability to turn on and off the movement, I need a switch. Nah, what the hell bro, not the wall switch, but a solid state switch. Here it gets a bit more technical. What I need is a switch with a small package and a low turn-on resistance. In addition, I would also prefer a low input cap, minimizing the rise and fall time and reduce the gate drive instability. Second, I need a processor that can wirelessly turn on and off the switch. In that case, please welcome the famous ESP-32C3. In the last few years, there was a huge rise in demand for ESP-32 microprocessors.
ESP-32 microcontroller.
But all I need for this project is built-in Bluetooth in the smallest possible package. Third, I need to make the add-on PCB as tiny as possible to fit inside the squirrel ball. To do that, I have to abandon the out-of-box solution and design a new separate PCB from scratch. Now, here comes the question. What are the required peripheral circuits? Obviously, we have the processor and the motor switch. Then, the polar resistors, bypass caps, reset and start switches, crystal oscillator, capsule crystal matching, 2.4 GHz antenna, matching network, LDO, boost converter, and the USB-C connector. Last but not least, laying out the PCB, and I'm planning to place the board right here. This requires me to trace the outline and squash all the circuit blocks in the layout. And done. Submitting to PCBWay. By the way, this is not a sponsored video. Wait, already arrived? Do you really think I'm typing my code from scratch? Obviously not. I'm just writing my prompt instructions for AI to generate the code. And what really matters is the big picture idea. Here is what I envisioned. The device would consist of the following operation modes. First, the default mode is automatically switching on and off the movement. I programmed the on and off time to follow an exponential distribution function to describe a random event of arrival. This should capture the random jitter movement of a prey. Second, continuous on mode. You know, just like the original device where the toy is turned on all the time? That's this mode. Third, manual mode. In this mode, I can turn on and off the toy, just to add a bit of spiciness during the play session with sugar. Fourth, the sleep mode. Entering this mode will turn off the toy movement temporarily to conserve power, but can be easily reconnected. Now, to switch between these modes, I need a smartphone app, also written by AI. Let's get to do some prompt engineering. My first version didn't work. The second and third version failed. It wasn't until the fourth version, with 3 nights of debugging, I established my first successful connection between the phone and the ESP-32. This is actually insane. I spent only 3 nights on debugging without any prior coding experience. Never expecting this much boosting productivity. Alright, let's test out the functionalities. First, menu mode. Next, automatic mode. As you can see, the smartphone app allows me to enter the average on and off time to mimic the struggling of a prey. Specifically, we want longer off time than on time to emulate a sudden jerk movement.
Automatic. Here.
Then, this one's easy. Continuous on mode.
Continuous on mode.
And the sleep mode. This mode saves a lot of power by disconnecting the radio, but can be easily reconnected. At this moment, Dr. Albert couldn't be more thankful enough that everything just worked as planned. And then...
甜甜，来，看，看华给你准备了什么？